Hi, my name is Nadia Lutz, and I'm a traditional naturopath. I also practice applied neurology. So, my clientele is a lot of people with neurodegenerative diseases or learning issues, whether it be kids or adults, multitasking, frontal lobe issues, people who are recovering from different heart or stroke issues. I've been practicing since 1982, one form of healthcare or another, and just kind of evolved over the years. I got into the whole neuro aspect because I had neuro line. And I've worked since 2001 with laser acupuncture using infrared laser and cold laser, with some fabulous results with all neuro issues. So when my good friend introduced me to Terahertz technology with iTeraCare, I had fabulous results right off the bat because I knew the areas to charge. And I get asked a lot of questions about a lot of issues. So I thought I would share some tips and tricks so people can get better use out of their wand and have better results. Now, nothing I present is medical advice. The Terahertz device is not a medical device. This is for educational purposes only. Even though I may give an example of a client that I had this results with, doesn't mean that you will have the results. Every single person is different. So it requires a unique approach. So please take this with a grain of salt. It's just for educational purposes only. So first, what I'd like to do is explain a little bit about what terahertz is in case you're not familiar with it. And then I would like to talk about the benefits, and then I want to dive right into the brain and talk about the different areas and where you can place the wand so that you can have good effects. And then I want to hit the cranial nerves while you're doing the charging of the wand. So I'm going to kind of show you how to stack things to get better results. If you're not familiar with it, this is one classic device. It is a terahertz wand. There's a terahertz chip in it, and inside there is a tube, a crystal tube, optical crystal, and the combination of heat, the tube, and the terahertz produces this beam of terahertz frequency that can penetrate 7 to 12 inches. So we can have some magnificent effects. You can see at the top here, there's a little chart where you can see there's a terahertz gap. It's a step above infrared and before you get to microwave. It's interesting because this has been used and studied quite a bit since 2014 by different scientists. The American scientists refer to it as a wave of life, Japanese scientists, the light of life, and the Chinese scientists as God's waveband. And the reason is because the terahertz frequency resonates as the same vibration as a healthy cell. So I think that's why these scientists are coming up with these names for them. The terahertz goes in and it optimizes cells that are unhealthy and it strengthens healthy cells. It can activate inert cells by heating up the bone marrow. And it also allows the immune system to strengthen the DNA and just organically heal itself. And it's fabulous at unblocking meridians and lymph points in the body. It improves microcirculation and blood circulation. And it has been shown to, in clinical trials, to regulate some glands. And if you're familiar with traditional Chinese medicine, it can eliminate some extra moisture or humidity in your body and balance the immune system. This is a result of the clinical studies. There are 62 clinical test reports that were done at the Beijing Research Institute of Chemical Technology. Fabulous at inflammation. That was the #1 result. And basically all neuro things, it's inflammation in the brain, right? So we have to find a way to reduce the inflammation. So let's go a little further. Simply charging on the back, the spine, has a great effect because you can see this chart on the left, and each vertebra is attached to different organs. So by going down and up the spine, you can go ahead and activate stem cells, but you can also optimize all your organs, and all your nerves run through there, right? And they all connect up to the brain. Now, one of the great things about the terahertz is you can charge water. It's been shown in an NIH study that if you add minerals to really super high quality water and then you charge it with terahertz, our bodies can absorb up to 50% more vitamins, minerals, and nutrients from the water, which is pretty amazing. So in general practice that you charge 2 glasses of water before you do anything, and then you drink them. And you can see up at the top, there's a live blood analysis before and after drinking those too. So up at the top, you see the blood cells are a little clumpy. They've charged the water, they drank it, and now you can see that they're flowing smoothly at the bottom. Here's another example. They're charging the water up at the top. And basically what's happening is it's changing it from a cluster of hydrogen molecules to a linear effect. And that allows the blood to absorb, the body to absorb it more, and it can pass through quicker, bringing more oxygen to the brain, to the body, increases absorption, neutralizes some free radicals, and overall just has a fabulous effect. Okay, so here we have the basic protocol. I actually call this the second basic protocol. The first basic protocol, I would just do the top row. I would charge 2 glasses of water. I would charge on each palm for 30 to 60 seconds, and the same on the soles of the feet, 30 to 60 seconds, and then I would drink 2 more glasses of water. I'd do that for a week or 2 if you're just brand new to energy work. And then I would add in the other areas here that you're seeing. Again, start slow, 30, 60 seconds on each area. So it's going to prime the body to allow the other energy work to take place. So I would definitely start with this first before you dive into the brain. Make sure all the detox pathways are open. It'll reduce our detox symptoms. Okay, so if we look at this right here, we can see coming from the brainstem, there are a lot of cranial nerves. This isn't all the cranial nerves. We'll see that in a minute. But we're basically going to target different areas of the body to activate the cranial nerves to make our brain wake up and pay attention. All right, here is what I call the Neuro Reset. This is not done in any particular order. I'm just going to go down the left and go to the right. You can do this in any order you like, but these are the areas that I find are very effective when trying to activate the brain. First is the frontal lobe right here, right? You have all of your planning and you're keeping track of things and multitasking. Very important to have a strong frontal lobe. So activating this area in the front can actually help with that. Next area is around the eyes. I like to do a figure 8 around the eyes. There are a lot of cranial nerves that innervate into the eyes. We'll take a look at that next. But you can also see if you look at the diagram, it goes right to the brainstem as well. So it's really nice. I'm going to pause here and I'm going to talk about contraindications because I haven't mentioned that yet. It's really important. The combination of the heat and the terahertz, we want to avoid charging on any implants at all. Okay, what made me think about it is the eyes. Anyone who's had eye surgery and has a lens implant on there, you wouldn't want to do this. You wouldn't want to charge anywhere on the top half of your brain since it penetrates 7 to 12 inches, right? You might be able to do your throat if you pointed it down, or your jaw if you pointed it down. But if I'm coming here at the ear, that could indirectly get the eyes, right? So you want to avoid all implants. That includes like hearing aids, pacemakers, any mesh anywhere, any metal anywhere, breast implants, any implants whatsoever. Okay, if you have any questions, whether it's an implant or not, you could just ask yourself, was it organically made by my body? If your answer is yes, chances are you're okay. If someone else had to put it into your body, then that's considered an implant, right? Okay, so back to this. Up the nose activates the brainstem, so it's just pretty amazing. You would just take a cool setting on the wand and you'd come about 1 inch away from your nose, half an inch away, and you would just charge up. You would want to close your eyes because it's a little uncomfortable with the air going right at your eyes. Same with the eye. protocol. You definitely want your eyes closed. You don't want to do this with eyes open. Okay, so you would just charge here. And if you look at the diagram, you can see how it goes up into the nasal passages right to the brainstem. Okay, super important. Next, we have the throat area. So I would charge, go behind the ear, come down the neck, hit the middle of the neck, and then do the other side. Okay, and you can start slow and add in. So start 30, 60 seconds, and then you increase. You have a lot of cranial nerves coming from your jaw down into your throat, vagus nerve included. Then we have the temples right here. Okay, so again, hitting that frontal lobe, but coming in from the side here. Ears, really fabulous spot. Okay, you can see on the ears how it would go right through and get to the middle brain. We have a lot of different brain parts in there, so it's just fabulous to the ears. In addition, if you look at acupuncture points, acupressure points, your whole entire body is found on the ears. Cerebellum, absolute favorite spot for that, and up the nose would be my favorite spot for a neuro reset. If you only had time to do two things, I would do the cerebellum and up the nose. If you reach back on your hairline, the bottom of the hairline, you can feel two knobs. That's your cerebellum, right? You have a right and a left. You would want to charge that area. If you're having one-sided issues, so if your right side was not working so great, you had a hard time moving your hands, hard time walking, droopy face, you would want to focus on the left side. You want to focus on the opposite side, okay? But when in doubt, just charge both sides. We definitely want that nice and strong. Jaw, we have a trigeminal nerve. We have so many other issues here. So you'd want to go ahead and warm that jaw area. Let's think about the implant while we're here, right? If you have any metal they do to your teeth, amalgams, or any type of root canal that has used metal, you would want to avoid the jaw, right? So you'd have to be careful on the ears. I would definitely point up. I wouldn't point down, right? Temples, you can go directly to the side. Again, I wouldn't put down. That could go ahead and get to the jaw. Frontal lobe, I'd go up a little bit. And definitely eyes, if you're going to do that, definitely go up a little bit. Throat, you'd have to be careful to go down, right? So you just have to be very mindful of where you have your implants and think of every little thing. Now we saw that photo, how you have all the nerves going through the spine. So it's fabulous to go all along the spine as well. If you've had any physical issue, whether it be stroke or Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, you'd want to focus a little bit on the cervical spine also. Sometimes there's a little bit of impingement, any little deviation of the vertebra. You might want to see a chiropractor to see if we can get more blood flow to the brain, right? We're basically doing two things: reduce inflammation and get more blood to the brain. Those are our big things we're trying to do. Again, if you only had time to do two things, I would do up the nose and the cerebellum. If you had time to do three things, up the nose, cerebellum, and the spine. Okay, start slow, 20 to 30 seconds on these spots, and then increase as necessary. Okay, favorite part. Let's start getting into the cranial nerves. It's fabulous just taking it and going to different areas, and you're going to find results. But if we want results quicker, our sensory part of our brain is 60% of the brain. Okay, so if we can activate the sensations in our brain through our cranial nerves, we're going to have a better effect. Okay, we can take a look at where all of these are. The back here, down by the accessory, is the cerebellum. In the front, we have the olfactory coming, right, the nose. And we have the optic nerve for our eyes. We have the trigeminal in blue for our jaw, right? We have the facial nerve right behind that, smiling, frowning, touching. And then the glossopharyngeal involved in swallowing and taste. And then the vagus goes down and attaches to all the organs, super important. You can activate when you swallow, hum, or gargle. Don't worry, I'm going to talk you through this, so don't panic yet. Okay, lots of different ways to wake up the brain while you're charging. Okay, I gave you a big list because our brain likes novelty. You can't do the same thing every day. We have to keep it fresh. We have to change it up so our brain doesn't know what's happening and it wakes up and it pays attention. Okay, we don't often have vibration. So I'd really like to use vibration. Can't find my little tool. I have a vibrating toothbrush. I'll just use my pen as an example. So you would turn it on and you could bite on the vibrating toothbrush, or you could stroke your trigeminal nerve or around the eyes, anything to make your brain pay attention to that area. So perhaps I'm charging and biting at the same time with a vibrating toothbrush, right? Now, our central nervous system can be calmed down a lot by breathing in and out our nose, just simply called nostril breathing, okay? So if you have a child that's very active, almost to the point of hyperactive, we want to train them to breathe in and out the nose. And you can use essential oils to help the brain pay attention, right? Something like lemon, orange, and peppermint are going to wake the brain up. Something like lavender and chamomile are going to calm the brain down. So if you have someone with low affect, very tired, they can't get up and walk very well, we will want to wake them up, right? We want to use peppermint or lemon or orange. So you can plug one nostril and you can breathe on the other one. And maybe you do this while you charge the different areas, right? So we're really waking up our brain and we're making it pay attention, and you'd want to do both sides. Okay. You can try to identify smell. So we want to make the brain pay attention. I have a slide. I'll show you a little bit more about that. And same with the other one. We can add salt or candy. I'll show you a slide down below. One of my favorite things to do is rub oil. So you can take an essential oil, and if it's a hot oil, or if it's a young child or an older adult, you want to cut it down with like a coconut oil, and you'd rub it in front of your ear. You'd rub the cartilage here, and you'd rub it behind your ear, all up and down here. And then you could just charge, right? Adding color glasses is fabulous, okay? It changes the optic nerve, so it wakes up the brain, because it's not often that we see everything in orange, right? Or everything in green, both of which are very, very grounding colors. So again, if you have someone spiraling up, orange or green are going to help calm the central nervous system down, right? If you have someone with low affect and can't get off the couch, doesn't want to do anything, they might need red to bring them up. This can cause a little bit of high blood pressure, so be careful if they feel anything there. Or yellow, right? Yellow is a sunset. So if it's a dark day, you're not able to see the sunset, you can put on yellow or orange, and you could charge, right? You could charge a cerebellum. You could charge anything. Talked a little bit about nostril breathing, helping calm the central nervous system down. Humming or gurgling activates the vagus nerve and calms the central nervous system down. So you could breathe in your nose, out your nose, and hum. Maybe you add in essential oils. Maybe you add in your vibration. Maybe you add in shoulder shrugs. All these things, they're so simple, yet they make the brain pay attention, which is what we want to do. We're trying to wake the brain up, right? Another great thing you can do, if you have a device, you can play frequencies for nerve stimulator or different parts of the brain, the cerebellum, frontal lobe, depending on what issues you're dealing with. Another way, while you're doing all of this, is to have some sort of challenge for your brain. You can do multiplication tables, right? So you're charging your ear and you're counting by threes, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Maybe you count backwards by 4, starting from 100. You want to challenge your brain, right? Or you do the alphabet in animals, aardvark, bear, cat, going through it while you're charging, right? Waking up the brain. Remember, this is all very stimulating things. So you want to start slow, see how your body reacts, and add things in. And always, always, always change it up. Don't do the same thing every day. We want novelty for the brain. So here's an example of different ways you can add in different sensations, right? You have your peppermint oil. Here's a little honey. You could add salt, right? You could do either one. You could do gum. You could chew on mint. You could have tea. You could have peppermints. Same with cinnamon, all different things. Here's a smell identification as an example. You could just take your essential oils, right? Take 4 or 5, take the lids off, close your eyes while you're wanding, pick one up, try to identify what it is and put it down, pick another one up, identify what it is. Or you could have actual substances like cinnamon or chocolate or coffee beans. Okay, so here's an example of combining them. We have red glasses on, we have the vibration toothbrush, nostril breathing, and we're doing essential oils, terahertz, and humming, right? So we have a lot of things that our brain's activating and paying attention. So hopefully this wasn't too much for you. I threw a lot at you, but you can always go back and rewatch it. Start with one thing, add a couple of other things in, see how you do. Keep a journal, see what your brain likes. Every brain is different, right? You have to see what your brain likes. Here's a little riddle for you. I put up here, right? Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change by Stephen Hawkins, right? We're trying to change our brain for one reason or the other. We're trying to optimize it. So using the combination of terahertz and all these different tools, I hope that you're able to get some success. And make sure to join our Facebook group down at the bottom. You can see iTeraCare Health Facebook group for lots more tips. We have a lot in our guides. It's also important, I have to mention, that all these things work really well, but chances are you need to adapt some lifestyle changes, right, in order to make a real change. We have to eliminate anything that causes inflammation. So that would be pesticides, toxicities, gluten, sugar, dairy, they're all inflammatory. Alcohol, any processed foods. We want to eat real, clean, organic foods as much as possible and get rid of the processing, because all that does is cause inflammation. And then sometimes that is double the effect because a lot of people with neuro issues have swallowing problems, right? So make sure you get a lot of that humming and gargling in to build those muscles and activate those cranial nerves. Anyway, I hope you get a lot out of this and journal and do these drills. Remember, it's going to take a lot of time with it. So aim for 15 to 20 minutes a day as you work up to it, and then increase it. The more time you put in, the faster you'll see the results, right? If you've had symptoms for 2, 5, 10 years, it's going to take a while, right? Don't get frustrated. Keep with it. We just need to wake up that brain. All right. Thank you so much for sticking with me this long, and I hope you got something out of this. Enjoy your day.